Victoria Ballard here, naturopath. Just wanted to say that as much has been spoken about how important it is to come off a fast slowly, it's also important for some people to prepare for a fast. Now, if you're ketogenic, or you're ketovore, or you're carnivore, and you know you're fat burning, you just want to get that extra autophagy, that extra cell regeneration for health and longevity. If you're fasting simply for longevity, or you just want to boost your results from ketovore, carnivore, and ketogenic diets, then you can probably go straight into a 3-day water fast without any problems. But if, like me, you're eating rather a lot of carbohydrate, and also some of the not so good fats, they use peanut oil here in India, and they think it's wonderful. It's absolutely terrible. I try and get everyone that cooks for me in the restaurants, because it's almost like being in someone's home when you go into a restaurant. And I say, can you please cook everything for me in ghee, because I don't like these oils. But even so, a certain amount of peanut oil and a certain amount of, actually I've recently even had some sugar, and all these mountains of rice. I mean, you can't really, well, I found I couldn't really go cold turkey, like just suddenly give it all up and have a really enjoyable fast, because I usually enjoy fasting. I get less cravings when I'm eating no food at all. I get very little hunger. I mean, the hunger, it's kind of, by the time it's hit me, it's gone. It lasts seconds, minutes at most. And fasting, of course, makes you feel quite sharp, and it's very convenient. I mean, you don't have to worry about food and washing up and all that sort of rubbish. So I'm very fond of fasting, and I was trained my naturopathy training was lots of different fasts. Although I really don't think you can beat the water fast with a bit of salt and some electrolytes. But there are other fasts if you want to do them. One I would probably recommend would be the celery juice cleanse. It's not exactly a fast because you're having some food intake, but it is very, very detoxifying, and that's what we want to do. We want to get rid of any of the heavy metals that are stuck in the fat around the organs. We want to clean up our body. We want to regenerate our cells. We want to be healthy. It doesn't matter how long we live as far as I'm concerned, as long as we are healthy and enjoying life and able to get about and do things and be independent. That's really important to me. So I would say that as well as coming off a fast really, really slowly, like a piece of avocado, then an hour later maybe some bone broth or vegetable broth or steamed vegetables, and then some lean protein. But I mean, if you're fasting for 3 days, you want to be about 36 hours getting back to normal eating. So that's kind of quite well known. We all sort of have heard about how important it is not to have a heavy meal after fasting. It really is not a good idea. But also this idea of preparing for a fast, which I found out the hard way. I couldn't just go, boom, no food, just loads of water. It really didn't work. So I kind of took Dr. Boz's trick of sardines, but I only ate one tin, which is 127 calories. I had one tin a day for 4 days, and that is like way below the 500 calories of the fasting mimicking diet. So it was a fast of sorts. And then on the 5th day, I was able to go without anything at all other than water and salt. And 5 days I always find it's plenty long enough. Doesn't suit me to do longer fasts, though there's a guy here who's done 40 days without any supervision, without any ill effects. I personally think he came off it a bit too quickly, because he was absolutely glowing. I mean, he looked like 20 or 30 years younger, and he was just radiating all this love and joy, and his skin was fantastic, and he really looked great. And I thought, well, you know, I hope you're going to come off it slowly. But he's been fasting more than me. He's done several 28-day fasts, so I thought, well, you know, what have I got to teach him? Well, he did come off a bit too soon, and he did get a little bit ill. So coming off the diet is the fast, it's not a diet. Coming off the fast is very, very important, but I wanted to talk about going into a fast. Now, particularly if you are not fat burning, if you are glucose burning, then I think you need to take 3 or 4 or even 5 days of eggs if you're a vegetarian that allows yourself to eat eggs. I mean, 2 or 3 hard-boiled eggs. I use sardines, just 1 tin a day. And that just gets the body sort of primed up, really, gets it kind of like high nutrition, gets it into fat burning before you actually go on the fast. And then once you go on the fast, once you go water only, then you're fat burning to quite some extent. And there could be some detox symptoms because the fat around the organs does hold some of the environmental toxins, even if your diet has been good. So I would really prepare yourself for a fast, and prepare yourself psychologically as well. There's nothing like getting a bit of support, either from one of the online communities or from a friend who's also into fasting. So get psychologically prepared and get physically prepared so that it's not difficult. Do a few days of these simple, low-calorie, high-protein, high-nutritious food to get yourself in the right state to fast. And then go for it. You just drink water. Make sure you put sort of little flakes of salt under your tongue if you don't want to drink salty water. Get some electrolytes. And keep busy. All that time we spend eating and washing up. I don't wash up, but that's because I eat in restaurants. But if you think about how much time, and not only the time, the energy the body needs to digest food, all that energy becomes available for other projects, some of your favourite hobbies, whatever it is you really want to do with your spare time. I mean, there is a definite boost in energy because you're not using it all up to digest food. And you're not getting insulin spikes, so you're not getting crashes. So if you have a bit of a wobble, it will not last very long. If you feel a bit wobbly, a little bit kind of dizzy, just take some electrolytes, even rest. It's really not a bad idea to just lie down for 10 minutes or a quarter of an hour to get through any of the sort of detox symptoms. And also planning your fast for, I mean, if you're an experienced faster, you can just live life as usual, just not eating food. I've done that, and I know that Dr. Mindy Pelz, Dr. Jason Fung, all the regular fasters, they can just get on with their work, and they don't have to make special time for fasting. But if you're not really fasting adapted, if you're not doing it often and easily, a little bit of rest is good, and preparing some days in advance that you will not have to perform at your best will give you that much more security in knowing that you can get through this fast, and you're going to be so improved at the end of the fast. You're going to feel really good. I mean, I'm saying 3 days. Nothing wrong with 5 days, particularly if you're building up to it for 3 to 5 days, and then you do 3 days water fasting. That's almost like an 8-day fast. But there are people all over the world that are fasting really 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks. I mean, my friend Vinny just has done 40 days without much trouble at all. He was sipping some vegetable broth occasionally. But really, you know, yeah, I sort of tend to sip a little bit of apple cider vinegar in water, a very small amount of apple cider vinegar in case it breaks the fast. But it's tasty with a bit of salt and apple cider vinegar. You'll find something. Green tea is wonderful. Green tea, and you can have coffee in the morning. I mean, you can have anything that hasn't got milk in, that is sort of liquid and no calories, basically. It's no calories in black coffee, it's no calories in green tea. So I'm sure you could do this, you know, if you build up to it. I'm sure you'll get the results and you'll feel fantastic. So do give it a go. So best of luck with that. If you want any advice from me, I'm available by email. I use email because of the time differences, and I'll leave my email address in the description and in the comments. So please subscribe, that would be really great, or like even, or leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, bye.